Hello, hello, bitches! Alright, so I wanted to make this video right here. I am very excited about this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Kicks fucking ass. I really, really, really fucking like Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, so like the last probably 2 weeks or so, basically all of November up to this point, you guys might have noticed that, it's been a little slower on the channel. My pace has slowed down just a bit. Now, the reason for this is because I found myself watching the entirety of the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime, all 224 episodes, and to say I got hooked or sucked in is a little bit of an understatement, but I've finished, and I wanted to make this video talking about how fucking badass I think Yu-Gi-Oh is, and in the future I'm probably going to be recording some Yu-Gi-Oh games now. I can add that to the slate, because the anime was just incredible. So this all started, like, somewhere, like, October 29th or 30th, or somewhere around there. I just got done putting up some, I believe it was a couple Kingdom Hearts 2 videos and a Final Fantasy 7 video. There's going to be a torrent of Final Fantasy 7 coming out over probably the next week or so. Be on the lookout for that. Kingdom Hearts 2, obviously, when I put this video out, the very last episode of that will also be out. I just finished putting up some videos, and like right there on the main like YouTube page, it's got like gives you like suggested videos, and one of them was a fight from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, Yugi vs. Raphael. Now I had never heard of this character Raphael, and I'm not even particularly sure why this Yu-Gi-Oh video was on my suggested, because I haven't looked at any Yu-Gi-Oh videos or listened to the OST or anything like that. It must be linked. The new Dragon Ball Super ending theme song, I was loving that, and I was listening to that quite a bit. Maybe somehow that connected to Yu-Gi-Oh! But I decided, like, hey, I'll check this out, because, I've seen a couple vines here and there about how awesome, like, it is. It's like, oh, you've activated my trap, and then they're like, ah, and then it's like, oh, and then I got this combo going, and Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you're fucked. And I was like, I'll give this a check. And it was the Japanese version, and I was blown away by how much better it was than I thought it was going to be. Like, it was very interesting. And I did a little digging about the differences between the English dub and the original Japanese version of the anime. And what I found was a little disappointing in how bad the English dub was, how many things they changed, how they really babied it up, because it was done by that bullshit ass company 4Kids Entertainment or whatever, and like they really fucked it up. And I remember when I was younger, in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, like I watched some Yu-Gi-Oh here or there, and like the show was okay. It was never, I was never blown away. It wasn't as good as what I was watching Dragon Ball Z at the time, Yu Yu Hakusho, G Gundam, things like that I thought were way, 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 way better. I did have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy Advance game that I was playing I really enjoyed. I did dabble in the card game in real life a little bit, played with some friends. I think I played in one tournament. Yu-Gi-Oh! I was aware of it, but after seeing this video of one of the fights in the Japanese anime, I thought to myself, well, shit, I need to check this shit out ASAP. So I started watching it, and it's good. The show is fucking great, phenomenal, 100 times better than the dub, because the dub takes away all of the original music, the Yu-Gi-Oh! OST, which is unbelievable. It's as good as like a PlayStation 1 RPG soundtrack. I am a big fan of a lot of these Yu-Gi-Oh! OST songs. And it also did help that I liked the characters so much. Now, of course, a couple of them, like Jonochi, who his name is Joey Wheeler in the English version, and Honda, who is Tristan in the English version. You know, they're like your typical Japanese anime, like high school, middle school, like kind of thugs. You know, very similar to Yusuke and Kuwabara actually in Yu Yu Hakusho. So even though, you know, they're pretty basic to like any anime, I do really dig that type of character because Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my all-time favorites. And the way Jonouchi and Honda act definitely gives me a nice Yu Yu Hakusho vibe. I really, really like, you know, Yugi, and obviously the Pharaoh, his alter ego, Atem, or Atem, however you want to say it. And I gotta give major props. I remember, you know, I've always talked with people and heard people talk about how, you know, like a lot of times in certain things like games, animes, you know, like the Japanese voice actors a lot of times seem to be better. It seems like they're putting a lot more emotion into, you know, the lines they're belting out. They care more. Like when they're screaming and stuff, it seems to be of a much better quality than a lot of the English stuff. Now, I do like the Funimation team that dubs. You know, they did Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, a bunch of stuff now. They are good. But a lot of the other like, you know, companies that have dubbed have been not so good, like 4Kids. And another shining example I've got is Shining Force 3. There's some voice acting, and the English dub of that is just so bad. And I remember talking with someone and thinking, like, are these Japanese voice actors actually this much better than a lot of the English voice actors? Or does it just sound better because we don't understand like what they're saying? And it is a fact that they put a lot more emotion, like an energy into their voice acting than a lot of English voice actors. There's no doubt about that. And is that just covering up the fact that they're bad? Who knows? But I know that these Yu-Gi-Oh voice actors, they were given it their A game. In particular, the character of Yugi, and then Yami Yugi, or Dark Yugi, because Yami is dark in Japanese. So, you know, Dark Yugi. I believe it's the same voice actor for both characters, and his voice for Dark Yugi is just incredible. When he, like, really starts, like, getting angry and mouthing back at these villains and characters, like, I'm getting sucked in. Like, his voice is great when he's screaming at these fools, you know, when he busts out his combos and gets his black magician going and yada yada yada. Like the energy, I'm just getting pumped. It's like I'm watching a sports team. I'm flying up out of the chair cheering Yugi on, you know, just like I would like a sports team. Like the energy that the voice actor displays for Yugi is just really, really incredible. The other character, both character and then the voice actor who voiced this character that blew me away, is the Malik slash Yami Malik, Dark Malik, and then his voice actor. This whole character, like, you know, I was chugging along watching the show, and then this character, Malik, first is introduced in, I believe it's like episode 50 or episode 51. And I remember seeing a little bit of this character, you know, like 10 years ago when I was watching the English dub, but I don't remember a lot about him. I just remembered of the Millennium Rod that he has, which allows him to control people. And this character, like his voice, like really got me into it. And like it seemed like he's got a good story about how he's wronged and basically he, you know, wasn't allowed to live his life because his whole life is about serving the Pharaoh. And like I was, you know, very intrigued by his story. And then when it's revealed in episode, is it 89, that he actually has a split personality, Dark Malik, Yami Malik, I was floored because this is the type of villain in like animes or games or something that really, really I enjoy. Another villain like this is in Yu Yu Hakusho, Shinobi Sensui. Sensui is a fucking fantabulous villain. I love Sensui. And Dark Malik is the same thing. Like, this character, Malik, he's cold and calculating, and he's got this plan, and he's trying to get revenge on Yugi, but then it just flips on a dime, just boom, and he all of a sudden turns into like a sadistic, psychotic, Dark Malik who's trying to, kill everyone, and he's talking about, oh, my only purpose is to destroy, kill, kill, kill. It's like, holy shit, like, this villain, like, I was really, really engaged with this villain, and this voice actor, he did the voice for both Malik and Dark Malik, and there is a substantial difference from when he's voicing the two characters. You can definitely tell that it's the same guy, but his speech patterns when he's voicing Dark Malik really, really give off the vibe that this character is fucking nuts. And that whole arc, I just really, really enjoyed. I was looking into Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games, and I was a little disappointed because most of them are just focused completely on the cards. I do really like the card game, especially when they're doing it in the anime. And I was trying to find like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game to record, but Dark Malik is in very few because so few of these Yu-Gi-Oh! Games really deal with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Storyline. It's all pretty much based just on the cards because obviously the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game has become a fucking cash cow at this point. Like, oh my god. One negative about the show, though, obviously, like almost all animes, is there are some unfortunate filler arcs. Very rarely can they do filler arcs good with meaning, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been one of the worst in terms of placement of these filler arcs. The very first filler arc doesn't appear until somewhere around episode 45 or so, and it's only like 2 or 3 episodes long, so that's not that bad. And then the next 50 or so episodes are all related to the story and, adapted directly from the manga. So it's all going good. And this puts us to about halfway through the Dark Malik portion of the story as well. I believe it's like episode 98 when they put this filler arc in, obviously because they wanted to give the manga some distance from the show because they were going concurrently at that time. Both the anime and the manga were in progress, but obviously the anime can't go past the manga because they're adapting the manga into the show, so they have to create these filler arcs. The problem is the placement of this virtual world, sometimes it's referred to as the Noah arc, is just the worst placement ever. They're literally going to the final battleground for this Battle City tournament that they're in with Dark Malik on board the ship, who all he's talking about is kill, 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 destruction, destruction, destruction. And then this huge filler arc pops up, and Dark Malik is just sitting on this ship for 25 episodes, and it's just kind of like no fucking way. Like they killed the momentum. There's no way this character would just be chilling like this. Like, it's just, oh my god, they had to get this fucking filler arc in here. And of course, right after the filler arc ends and it gets back to the Dark Malik stuff, like, the next, 20 or so episodes are probably the high point in the entire series. And it's just like, damn, like, if only that filler arc didn't, cut these two sections of the Malik portion of the show in half. That was a real shame. And then after they finish the Malik portion, which is like right around episode 144, 145, then the next 50 episodes is just a huge filler arc they created. First, the Doma / Waking the Dragon / Darts filler arc, which actually, I will say it's quite good, but by this point, they've run into a problem in the anime filler arcs where they create these anime-only cards that the big villains and big bosses of these filler arcs have that are like so ridiculously broken. Like they're just trying to one up each other to a ridiculous extent. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, these cards are just outrageous. It's like, oh, I put this down and I win. Like, you're done, fucker. Get some of that. And then the last 20 or so episodes are all one arc and the, finishing of the story of how Dark Yugi is, revealed to be a pharaoh from 3,000 years ago. And you find out why he was sealed in the Millennium Puzzle. It's because he had sealed away this, what they call the wicked evil god Zork Necrohades away. And all of this stuff is very interesting. I thought that this arc, I guess you'd call it the Egyptian arc, or I believe the manga, or at least the English manga refers to it as the Millennium World arc. It is a little short, but it's very emotional, and it's taking place in ancient Egypt. And, like, a couple of you guys might have heard me talking about how much I love, like, the Mummy movies and stuff. And, like, I just, overall, am very fascinated by stuff in ancient Egypt. So, once it got there, I was, really, really blown away. Very sad, very emotional. But it's, the show does end out on a high point. And then, of course, the show ends with the final battle where Yugi and the Pharaoh, Atem, they're split up and they have to face each other. And, of course, that ends with Yugi winning so that Atem can go to the afterlife. And that scene, I can't watch that scene with dry eyes. I feel like anyone who really likes this show, like, that scene when he goes into the afterlife and, like, he walks into the light and then, all of his friends from ancient Egypt who are waiting for him, who, like, they were all murdered trying to stop Zork. Like, that scene is just so powerful. And then, the normal crew basically telling the Pharaoh how much they'll miss him, how it was so great knowing him and stuff. Like, it's just like, oh, God, like, 200 episodes of emotion right here. And it was funny, I actually looked up a video of the music theme that plays when he, departs to the afterlife. I believe the official title is The Memoryless King. And I looked at the comments section, and all it was, I can't listen to this without tearing up, or I can't watch that episode without tearing up. Like, that might just be, like, the best ending to an anime. For me, right now, that's definitely number one. Of course, there's a lot of shows I haven't seen that I definitely want to check out now. Like, I've never seen Full Metal Alchemist. I've never seen, like, One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, like, a lot of the big ones. Like, people go fucking nuts over Naruto, like Naruto is crack or something, and I've never really, dug deep into Naruto, so I might check that out. It is a little daunting that, like, Naruto and, like, One Piece, they're, like, 700 episodes each, but, I mean, if they're good, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, I did kill Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2 weeks, so it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to give you guys like a little update of what I've been up to the last 2 weeks as I've slowed down a bit with the YouTube channel. I'll pick the pace back up now though, now that I've finished the show. And in the future, I'm going to try and record a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. I've already got one lined up. I'll probably start after I get some Final Fantasy VII done. I think I'll probably try and exit from Midgar first. And of course, just in case any of you guys listen to the end, Resident Evil 1 is definitely 100% starting back up this week. No worries about that. Alright, and I'll talk a lot more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously in depth when I record some Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. Like I said, I've got one lined up. I'll see you fuckers later. Peace!